join us now, as indeed we join the legend that is Hans Ray, German pro rider Tibor Simai and photojournalist Dan Milner as they fly into Salta in northern Argentina, heading on eventually to La Quiaca on the Bolivian border for the start of the next Hans Ray adventure team trip.
So we came into Salta, we travelled up to here, to Cara, and then we're going to get a bus up to the border, right on the border, La Quiaca. It's not much there, just a little border town. And then this old railway line, it's over 100 years old, starts from there and comes all the way down, actually comes all the way back to Salta. But we're going to follow it as far as Humahuaca.
So about halfway?
Yeah. So tomorrow we've got quite a big day, because I think the first accommodation we've got is in Abra Pampa.
Looks pretty far.
That's 70 kilometers we've got to cover tomorrow to get to somewhere to stay, and then the night after we're sort of fishing around for somewhere to stay. We'll see what comes our way. It isn't like hardcore single track or anything like that. It's like the idea I had was to try and show where a bike can take you. Yeah. And I'm thinking as we ride, we might see stuff off the side that looks fun to just go and ride. We'll hike it and ride it, and things like that. So we'll get some trail stuff in on the side, but essentially we're just going A to B down a crazy old disused railway line.
Today another day of traveling to go there where we start our first trip, the railroad ride. What's next?
Just been dropped off by a little taxi that we rented to get us to the start of what is perhaps one of the most stupid bike ideas I've ever had. 2 days trying to follow an old disused railway line down through the mountains in northern Argentina. See how we get on. The railway line is just ahead. Dropping in now. This area here that we've rolled through, not far out of Tres Cruces, is called the Devil's Spine. Spina del Diablo, I think, in the Spanish. Blooming spectacular any time of the day. It's flipping hot here right now, and we've rolled up to this and thinking actually probably some pretty good riding to be had just off the side of the railway. Nobody rides along this stuff, which means nobody comes into spots like this to try and find other trails and things. So that's what we're doing. So yeah, we'll see what they come back with. But right now, I mean, just taking in the scenery is pretty good. I just got to avoid my lips burning completely off. I might have no lips by the end of tonight. I would just shoot it a little bit more so I get a little bit more single trace. It's interesting actually because both riders have very different riding styles, so to photograph them, they both actually sort of almost need slightly different angles sometimes. It's quite rewarding. You get a bit wrapped up in what you're doing and like the creativity of it and trying to work with people. I've never worked with hands before. It always takes a little while to know how everything clicks with each other. Well, that's day one, done, dusted. Made it to this place, Tres Cruces. And turns out there isn't really accommodation here, or is there? Because this apparently is the hotel. Or it used to be. So the adventure continues. A little bit more than right now we might want it to. Well, adventure really is about the unknown and facing challenges that come across, and last night it sort of kind of backfired on us a little bit because in Tres Cruces that hotel didn't open. In fact, nobody in town really knew it was there, so I'm not sure it's ever been open, not at least since the railway closed 20 years ago. We ended up having to jump back on the bus and go back to where we stayed the night before and come back with some dune in a pickup truck in the morning to restart. But there you go. Part of the fun and games, I guess.
So quiet here. It's like such a mellow life here.
Here we are, Tres Cruces, end of day one, start day two. I'm already out of breath, just getting up in the morning. 3,700 meters altitude. And well, we're hoping today's going to be a little bit easier because we think it's all downhill, but very, very gently downhill. That's sort of way trains go down hills, really. But we're also hoping that on this section, not only are there going to be some really crazy challenges to get over, but we're also hoping that off the side of this next stuff, where it deviates away from the road more and goes through some ravines and gorges and follows the river a bit more, there's going to be some little trails off the side, some little fun stuff we can go off and ride on the side. We're also faced with the challenge of trying to cover twice the distance of yesterday's 60 kilometers today to Wamawaka. But if it is all downhill, that's on our side. This whole railway was built over 100 years ago and hasn't been used for about 25 years. So slowly it's being reabsorbed by nature. The mountains, the desert has taken it back. There's just something about the way this railway's just been left and deserted and just
abandoned really. And all the way along we're just finding these little remnants of life 100 years ago. They're so tactile, they sort of have rusting metal, little remnants of yesteryear. Oh my God. And that's a little one. There's bigger ones to come. Nice one.
Scary.
Scary.
But we made it.
We made it.
I can't grab anything. I was holding my seat on my bike so tight, my arms are hurting.
Desperate.
That's ridiculous. It's just like, you know you can do it, but... So these mental scary bridges are one of the things that 6 years ago when I came up with this idea, I saw these from the road actually, and we're separated from the road right now by a river, and I didn't know whether they're even going to be possible on foot. Luckily for us, we can get across these bridges if you've got the nerve, which these guys have, but I'm trembling like a little timid mouse right now. About halfway through day 2 and we're in the only bit of shade I think we're going to find all day long. I find it quite tough. What's getting us most I think is just how hot and dry it is. Like you breathe through your mouth because of the altitude and you're just parched in no time. End of road part 1. We're here. Waka.
Waka is amazing. It's a really, really, really nice little town.
I had no idea we come out at such a cool little town here, or village. Very old cobblestone streets, and then this dude.
Salute.
It was definitely one of the more unique mountain bike challenges I think any of us have actually attempted. That's what I think a venture and a lot of these sort of expeditions are about. It's a lot of self-discovery and putting yourself into situations that test your mettle. And unless you do that, I think you don't go home quite so fulfilled at the end of the day.
It was really, really amazing. Like, we came by such beautiful places. You think it's easy just to ride across a railroad, but it's really, really hard on that altitude. I think we started at 3.4 and went up to 3.8, and that was really a tough challenge. Yeah, but I'm totally into it. Like, now I'm gonna change everything, do only adventures there.
If you really think about it, riding along a railroad track, it doesn't seem to be the most exciting thing for what a mountain biker usually seeks. But then again, you know, it provides a whole lot of other challenges and another way of looking at things. And that's the beauty about mountain biking in general. It can be interpreted or done in many different ways, and sometimes the terrain is the challenge, sometimes the riding, sometimes it's more like the endurance, or you are your own best enemy, you know. It was an adventure through and through, just different, and that's what I loved about it.
Well, as we'll find out the next time we join Hans and the team, the adventure was soon to encounter even bigger horizons. Not content with the endurance test that was the railroad ride, Dan also had it in mind to head northeast into the Argentinian highlands, where a 3-day, 37-mile route would introduce them to some of the continent's most challenging conditions, and as Hans was later to put it, the best single-track riding of my life. All that and more over the coming weeks.